What's up, TT?
What's up?
What's up, everybody? Ali Mehdaoui and Tanya Tenica, and a brand new installment of Me, Tanya, and I, right here in the ME Studios. Man, I'm super excited. Just came off a trip in Mexico. Got to work with Virtual Verse Global Impact. They had their very first international event, and we were so blessed, so lucky to spend a little bit of time with them. So kudos to our amazing partners, Virtual Verse and Global. We got some love. We're gonna have the full video that's gonna populate, but yeah, they give us an actual legacy leader award of appreciation and excellence. So
How
thank
you
you.
said us and your name is on there. I love that.
I was a representative of us. I mean, it's ME Studios. We do this together. She's so sensitive. We haven't even made it into like 5 minutes in.
I'm appreciating you. I said, if you heard me,
if you got a friend who knows how to ruin a moment, like hey,
bro,
I'm so excited. We got a brand new car. Oh, it's a little tiny little thingy. Yeah. All right. Hi. This is Tanya Tenica, ladies and gentlemen. Tanya Tenica, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Before you went off totally left field, I said, I love how it has your name, but you say us. Like, I appreciate how you always put us together.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
Well, you didn't let me finish. No, bro, turn off the music. No, you don't get that anymore. No, I don't want to hear it. Oh, no. You're not nice.
Thank you. I wasn't clapping for you. I was a moment for me for including you. That's like, I see what you did. You're welcome. All right. So let me give you a recap of Mexico, because I want to know how was your, because the world thinks that I was there on vacation, but I think, it's hard work. The only thing that I will say, though, I am burnt. If you notice, my skin is red.
That's real red.
So that's what you get for.
You don't have a tan line of your chains or anything crazy.
No. So I was getting so many interviews and so on and so forth, and like everybody's chilling on the poolside or what have you. So you're like, you know what? Cool. We're in the poolside. I'm gonna interview people. My shirt is off, and I got burned. Like, I am burnt. So if I'm moving like I'm a robot, it's because of that reason. But I would say great event. About 40 to 50 people were in there. 2 days, actually 3 days, 2 nights. To McNeely, huge kudos to McNeely. Yeah. Phil McNeely definitely delivered. The event was amazing. The experience was amazing. The rooms were phenomenal. Everything was organized from top to bottom. So Andre Vaughn, Dr. Andrea Givens, they were very happy and excited, and definitely good times. There's a lot of footage that's going to be coming out very soon. I know that either today or tomorrow there's a recap video of that event. And ME Studios was in the building. We were happy to have part of organizing everything from A to Z, from a logistical standpoint, from, we've put together the announcements, we've put together the promotions, we've put together the agenda, and it was just exciting to see a company from a thought all the way to becoming an active, growing company. And now they're expanding in multiple verticals instead of just where they are. So I know you had a lot to do with that over the last couple of months as well. So you're excited about the new addition that we're adding to Virtual?
I am.
Yeah.
I am. I think, I think we have some room for innovation, right? And I've just been thinking a lot about that. I think you and I've had some pretty, just raw, real conversations, like where's the industry going? What does it look like? We know education is advancing, but is it through the same distributions, right? And I think that's the biggest thing for us, is like being in media, being in PR, being in these areas, we have to be forward thinking. We have to be innovative, witty inventions, and then we have AI. So how does that affect what if we don't get ahead of it and then help people get ahead of it? But we're obsolete. So like, we're the forerunners right now. And I think a lot of our conversations actually have been on that. Like, Where are people at? And why is it that even with great followers, 10, 20,000 doesn't matter. Even with saying that, you're a heavy hitter, books, speaking engagements, multi-millions, we're working with these individuals and they're like, no, I don't have the money for $2,500 campaign.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Or they don't see the
Which
benefit
is
of
funny.
PR over marketing.
Yeah, I do have to say for those who are listening or watching, depending on what platform you're in. So I put bullet points in front of me of talking points, but Tanya and I do not prepare. Like, we don't script the podcast, right, at all. It's just,
He just
two
pushes
people.
play. I didn't even know which podcast we were
Yeah,
doing today.
but I would say this. I would say this. It's like nuts how you are having a conversation. Like, so I have the first here, I put Mexico recap, and then immediately after, market changed with new AI conditions, and look what you're talking about, and I didn't even say anything, right? Like, it's fascinating how we go in the same place, which
We
I
really
appreciate.
do.
I do have to say, before we move on from Mexico, I fell 3 times when I was in Mexico. One time was in the boat, the second time was in a restaurant, and the third time was literally, it was a step before the pool. And then now I ended up with a full dive, and everybody like, that was impressive. But what they didn't realize, my toes hit that step, and I hurt so bad, and I just went forward because I was falling. And thank God it was water, so it turned into like this beautiful headfirst dive. But if you like knew, my toes were throbbing the whole
Did you
day.
stay under a little bit longer to try to hopefully not be
Oh, I
embarrassed?
was screaming underwater while everybody's clapping on top, and I'm like still going in. They're like, "Look at him, he's going all the way," and I'm like, I am hurting. I am hurting. So I fell so bad in the boat. We were in the catamaran, and I'm going from one area to the other, trying to capture every single moment as everybody's having a good time. And it was a little bit on the windy side that day, so the boat is a little bit rocky, right? I'm trying to get on top of the boat so I can get a visual of everybody else. And then, I mean, when I say I slipped so hard, I broke the watch that I had. That's the only way, because I had it was either the camera or it was the watch. So I keep the camera up. Now,
Yeah,
what I
break the
didn't
watch.
realize, as I'm falling, I hit Andre Vaughn, the CEO of Virtual Verse, with the camera right in his forehead. That's I'm glad we got that on camera, Andre. You gonna get to see her. So all I'm like, I'm good, and then I turn and I see him holding his head like this. I'm like, oh dang, no, 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 it's too late. You already left. You already left. But wait, so that was the boat, right? The second one was, I'm just walking towards the crowd. Now this is just time off. We're not recording. We're not doing anything. I'm just walking, and then there's this. I don't, without glasses, I can't see at all.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I am as blind as a bat, right? And then my toes just hit, and I mean, I go like, that was terrible, but it was still good. And I told everybody, I'm like, they're like, that was a crazy dive. I'm like, no, I hit my toes with the step, and it just turned into a dive. But I wish you guys know what happened. The last one, I'm sitting in a restaurant having breakfast. This is literally yesterday, by myself, like, peacefully. There's a few people here and there. And then I'm distracted with the phone while I'm, like, just drinking my green juice or whatever. And then I'm trying to get up. So the whole restaurant, it's booths all the way around the wall, and then there's tables in the middle. So, when you try to just sneak out of the booth, I'm thinking there's still more booth, but that was the end. And butt down, fit. Like, I went all the way. Like, it's not about the fall, right? Like, falling is one thing. And then I look up and I see everybody just kind of frozen and just staring at this grown ass man who's just down on the ground. I'm like, yep, that just happened. The only thing I can think of is, like, I'm glad Tanya's not here, because that she would have whipped out the phone and get a bunch of pictures and videos immediately. Yeah, yeah. So
Email me about
Mexico was amazing. I fell 3 times for 3 days, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you very much. I am consistent, with my. But the event was great, and thank you for being my EP, behind the scene, and making sure that everything was 100% on the solid side. So we're excited about that, and we're looking forward. Our next trip is going to be Wyoming with the Trueness Project in June 27th till 27, 28, and 29. So I'm so excited. We're going to be releasing a Guinness World Record of butterflies at the same exact time. And it's going to be a
That's
bunch
gonna
of
be fun.
amazing, positive, inspirational things that are going to be happening. So I'm excited about Emmy Studios to take part in that and many more. Yeah, ready. Let's now talk about market changes. So you are right. There's a lot that has shifted and a lot that has changed when it comes to market conditions. It's fascinating. It's not even just about the fact that I know for a fact that 81 million Americans who are let me rephrase that 81% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, or they're just behind on their bills, or they're below 500 in their credit. That is crazy. That means that most of the people in the country are hurting financially. And look, it's not surprising. I mean, we've had the pandemic, and then everything went up, and then inflation, and then everything went up, and economies started hurting, and nothing really changed. I mean, we may say that there are changes, but where we are right now is still in the hurt, right? Um, but what's amazing to me is it created two categories. It created um, the one who thinks I'm just going to bootstrap my way to $1 million. And look, you may be resourceful, and that's what we want. We want you to be resourceful. But then it also created the ignorant, broke minded, the person who just does not want to invest in their business or themselves with that behavior and mindset of like, oh, I can use YouTube and the free version of ChatGPT and the free version of Canva and the free version of whatever, and I can create a successful business. While yes, you may create a successful business in whatever that means to you, maybe it's a side hustle. But if we are to develop and grow into a successful company, there are decisions, and you and I, as tight things have been from a business perspective, and even personal for us as well, we still are always taking initiative. All right, let's allocate some resources and spend them. So, what is your message to the market and that person who's watching, as far as bootstrapping is okay, but operating like you lack is, I feel like, is a disservice to the person and to the creator.
Yeah, I think one of the things that maybe hasn't been taught too much is you're good at what you do, but the business portion is different. So, yes, you can get some of the free things and tools, and that's great to get the momentum and begin. But then once you do get the financials that start to come in, many individuals will fully eat off that. They don't put any in savings. They it's like a feast or famine. They think that it's nothing in their mindset, nothing else is going to happen. And so uh they don't allocate like what we were talking about. They don't allocate some of those funds. And so it's this cycle that they're not able to actually invest uh in the things that they need to. So
So
some of it some of it
what
is just the
would yeah.
training, I think. Because I think most of these coaching programs, they really don't teach you business.
You want to know what's scary? And YouTube already started talking about this. So YouTube is developing an AI brain. Now check this out. This is where, if you are in the coaching space, it's scary. What, like, tomorrow's not promised today, and here's what I mean. Imagine an AI brain in YouTube. And when you go to YouTube and search how to create or how to develop or how whatever, it takes all the data from the billions and billions and billions of platforms and channels and data that's and gives you the most intelligent. You're talking about community collaboration at its highest level. And then it can give you multiple videos of that answer right away at a paid subscription directly to YouTube, like we are paying for ChatGPT. That's when you, the coach or trainer or whatever you think you're doing, become irrelevant, because YouTube is just going to sweep it away from everybody.
And I think I got a taste of that with Zoom. I don't know if you remember, I think it was last year sometime. Uh, Zoom actually put a notice out saying that they're going to take all of the conversations, everything we do on Zoom, all the classes we have, everything, those AI summaries and scripts that happen, they get fed to the AI. And that that the content that we have on there is not ours,
That's
which is
crazy.
quite interesting, right? They have it in their clause. And I was like, this is interesting. So I was like, let me go find this. So I went into ChatGPT and I pulled out their whole policy and I said, please summarize this. And I did. It's like, please summarize this. And I want you to pull out the section that shows me what they do with my content and is it my own? And it was right there, clear as day. And I just thought to myself, which is why I actually stopped recording my content on Zoom. So I stopped doing, like I used to just always do that. That's how I went into Riverside. And I started learning some of the others. And I went to some others and I just didn't like it. Riverside, I ended up sticking with. And because it was simple, but it gave a lot of, assets. So this is already happening if we really want to look at it, which is why we have to make sure, like all of these things that we do where, I'm going to have a Facebook group and all of my stuff is going to be in the Facebook group. Listen, if that shuts down, which I remember, I don't know, 5-6 years or something like that, I had like over 10-15,000 people that I had, been pushing on Facebook and building on my fan page and a fan page at that. That's not easy. So next thing you know, there was the blackout. Then they said they don't know who I am. Then the page blacks out, goes away and shuts down. But I couldn't do another page. Then when I could do another page, 3 months later, I get locked out of it. So
that sounds like a movie.
I was like, I'm done. I just can't. And so then we went through the blackout with Instagram. And then now we're going with TikTok. Everybody's building so much, even subscription models on these platforms, but they don't own it. They don't own the content.
Most don't even realize what is happening right before our eyes. Like, look, I'm optimistic, but I do know that these social media companies, executives, they know, hey, it's gonna get to a point where we no longer need the human intelligence to run our businesses and our companies. The ads are no longer gonna be valuable in the eyes of the masses. Where, let me put it like this: Amazon did it first. And here's what I mean. See, at one point, Amazon, if you remember, it took out Toys R Us, it took out, the big box retailers, right? It took out the Kmart, it took out the Sears, it took out all of them. And it was all attributed, people will come in. I remember we all did it. We walk in and then we open our Amazon and then we'll compare and say, order it in 2 days. I don't have to order it in here because it's overpriced. And then what ended up happening is Amazon took every big box retailer that was dominating and more that's going out of business. JCPenney is going out of business. Boscov is going out of business.
They are, yes, so many more.
Yeah, no, they already announced it. They're shutting down stores. But here's the phenomenon that we're missing. Right now, where there was a Toys R Us by us, there is an Amazon Fresh.
Yeah. The grocery store mixed with the actual,
No, here's the thing. Where there used to be a Sears and Kmart, they opened a what's the other concept that they bought? The food store. It has like fresh foods and it's a supermarket.
Whole Foods?
Whole Foods. So they not only bought the brand Whole Foods, but they started opening Whole Foods everywhere. And then so it's I have these big heavy pockets and the data of your business, then I'm going to get you out of business. I'm going to take your very same store that I get out of business, and then I'm going to fill up with my stuff that I already have the analytics of what people around you were buying. So I can genuinely say that the same thing that happened from product goods is happening right now with intelligence, is happening right now with education, where you think all these social media platforms don't realize that coaching and business development and personal development is going to be a $2 trillion industry in 5 years. That's literally where it's heading. So guess what they all want? Let's get that data, baby, and we sell it directly to the consumer, taking out all of these small entrepreneurs. And that's why algorithms get harder. That's why ads get more expensive. Like that is by design, to send the consumer directly to the manufacturer instead of having us essentially as the in-between from the data and the
At ME Studios, we don't just create campaigns, we build brands. Our mission is to transform your ideas into a compelling experience that resonates with your audience and elevates your brand identity. Hey there! Ever dreamt of launching your own branding campaign, but overwhelmed by all the moving parts? From concept to execution, the process can seem daunting. But don't worry, we've got you covered. Look no further. Welcome to ME Studios, your one-stop shop for all things branding. Imagine this, a place where creativity meets technology and your branding dreams come to life. We start with pre-production. Our expert team dives into creative concept meetings, curates top-tier guests, and even puts together stunning headshots. We help you shape your vision and plan every detail meticulously. We even throw in AI-powered commercials to give you that extra edge. These commercials are designed to seamlessly integrate with your content, making your campaign not just informative, but also commercially viable. Next up, production. Picture yourself in a state-of-the-art studio with professional lighting, high-quality mics, and an inspiring atmosphere. Our studios are equipped with the latest technology to ensure your sessions are smooth and productive. We create power-packed segments split into 3 engaging parts, 15 minutes each, designed to captivate your audience. Our team ensures that each segment is filled with valuable content and keeps your audience hooked. Now, let's talk post-production. Our team meticulously edits your content, adding branded intros and outros, custom music, and flawless transitions. We take care of all the technical details so you can focus on delivering your message. We make sure your message shines brighter than ever. Our goal is to enhance your voice and make your campaign stand out in a crowded market. Finally, it's time to launch. We distribute your polished campaign across all major platforms, ensuring your campaign reaches the widest possible audience. But that's not all. We create viral reels, issue a national press release, and ensure your campaign gets the attention it deserves. Our marketing strategies are designed to maximize your reach and engagement. At ME Studios, we bring your vision to life. Our dedicated team works tirelessly to ensure your campaign is a true reflection of your brand and resonates with your audience. Your campaign, your brand, done right. We take pride in delivering high-quality, professional campaigns that make a lasting impact. Ready to make your mark? Visit themestudios.net and book your launch today. Our team is excited to help you start your branding journey. Thanks for watching, and let's get your voice out there. Together, we can create something truly special.
Pretty good analytics. Thank you very much. Somebody should give me some love on that one. That was good. You're welcome, America. You're welcome.
It's actually interesting that you said there's 2 things, and I have a question for you. So I was listening to a lot of heavy tech mumble jumble, so I won't share what it is, but it was a conversation.
I give her a whole lot of me, and she says a mumble jumble.
No, I'm talking about anyway. I'm not going to share the link or anything like that when it comes down to the interview, but it was actually an interview with some brilliant men, but also the CEO of Google. And they had not incorporated AI to the extent. And what's interesting is that you talked about YouTube, and that is usually that competitor, right? From between Google and YouTube. And now he has stepped, essentially, they made fun. They were like, oh, so you stepped out of retirement, and he started putting in code. And they were like, all the employees around were like, wait a minute, did you just come from the CEO? Which normally he's not around. He's not doing anything. He's been really lax. He has stepped off to come into development to start testing out the AI components of Google because of what's happening right now in the industry. That's when you start to see, when you start seeing all that, that's when you're like, something's happening, right? Because now you have these major ones. Of course, you let YouTube take over pretty much, but you know, now that's where we are. So I found it funny because they're still talking about how AI is not so intuitive to the point where it replaces a human, but they said that they use it because of the ability to compress time, especially when they're researching.
100%, and I think that's for us all. But there will be a time where it gets smarter and smarter and smarter and smarter that we no longer are going to be able to keep up with what AI is doing. Like, look, you know, Marvis and I, right? Like my Chat GPT. I mean, we are one in one. Like I feed it. I feeded
Does not replace me. I don't like Marvis.
No, just hear me out. I feeded my music. Like, hey, here's the type of music that I like. I feed it my favorite books. I feed it, like, I give it everything, you know? So I could ask for anything at any time and it just gives it to me. So the more data that I'm giving it, the more or the faster, you know, that sometimes I will just put, hey, Marvis on ChatGPT, and he says, need marketing stuff? Because today's Tuesday. It already knows. So it's getting faster and faster and faster. So that's what's happening in the marketplace, where the more data that is being fed to these AI brains, that the faster is going to be that even the individual will not be able to keep up. We just won't. So we're going to have to, you know, figure out where is the market heading and try to be ahead of it, because only the select few with heavy deep pockets, talking about billions and trillions, are going to be the ones who are the master of puppets. Otherwise, we got a major problem. And, you know, going back to what we do is, if you don't brand yourself, meaning if you don't have a digital footprint with value, you will be irrelevant in the marketplace. And yeah.
Can I say this? When we're talking about even the branding and things like that, what I've noticed is people don't have a method. They're teaching, they're coaching, they're going through this process, but they actually don't have a specific method that actually gives somebody an end result. And there's two things that happen. In that conversation, number one, they were all talking, and they were even talking about how colleges and universities are going to become obsolete, because the ability for them so they need to even be more innovative, the ability for people to learn and really get without all the fluff and not having to pay the other aspect because of the coaching industry or the information education industry. But then the other thing is, I'm taking this class, and they've taken the entire method that they use, all of their years of teaching, every aspect, and what they would normally talk about in one-on-one coaching. They took it, and they took that prompt. Essentially, it's not a prompt. It's a, you know how like ChatGPT has different versions you can use, like Gemini and
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
okay.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So they went and they did a plugin that you can find in ChatGPT, and we're going through, which was so crazy innovative. And I've noticed this is the new trend. Tony Robbins did it, a bunch of others started, and I was like catching on. So what they did was they have a program. She's doing a 3-day intensive. Okay. It's like 2 hours, but you have the homework that you do is using the software. The other thing is, when you scale up to, let's just say VIP, Tony Robbins just did it again with Dean Grazioso, that you ended up going into their AI platform. And then what ended up happening was you could cancel, but you already went for a 30-day trial for $1. And you're using this now inside the thing, and you're putting value, you're putting information, it's getting to know you, it's putting back things where people are crying because they're like, I have never been talked to the way, because I've been trying to figure this out, but nobody has gotten me, because they're taking their method, unique method, not this regular, just generic ChatGPT. That's where I was like, you and I, in our brilliance and branding and other stuff, I was like, man, I'm working on now, and that, remember we talked about it in the back end, developing that kind of thing to where when we launch something, they can take a quiz. And through that quiz, we can identify what products they need, what would sustain them, what branding do they need, and so on and so forth. That's going to be where people are going to change the game, is when you can actually take your brain and all those scenarios and use it to able to minister or, get to the masses, and they can do the trial while you're launching out. And now they're getting to experience something. They're putting their time, energy. They had landing pages, all types of stuff. Nobody's going to want to quit after you do that, because you've given them the transformation that they need. That is what I'm saying is imperative right now, because so many are just doing regular generic coaching programs. The problem that we're going to have is that you're competing, you're essentially getting these innovators coming where you're actually using a software or tool. It's no longer just information, but they're helping you get an achieved results. And even before you purchase the program, you're already, oh my gosh, like far years ahead of where you were when you started. That's where people are afraid of AI. They're using it to grow their business, but not using it in the sense of within their programs to accelerate and scale the results.
I would say for anybody who says I'm afraid of AI, you're just promoting your ignorance. Like stop bragging about how ignorant you are.
You
And when when I say ignorant, I don't mean stupid or dumb. I'm just saying you just don't know what you don't know, right? Like I'm ignorant about being an astronaut. I don't have that data or that information. So stop bragging and promoting your ignorance. And start learning, start implementing the very, very basics. Just start with Chat GPT, and you have the data, you have the technology. Just implement it, and you have us. I believe that having the right team is 10 times more important than having the right tool or the right process or right service. Don't get me wrong, resources are important, but you gotta have the right team around you. There's a gentleman that shout out to Marlo Stanfield. They did a whole movie or series years ago about him and his brothers, The Wire, and we got the privilege to get an exclusive, brand new interview. Like we're the first ones to document his story outside in The Wire, and he's a genius. He created so many things that the government just took and just implemented right now as we speak in like weaponry. He created so many concepts that Apple has taken and implemented in iPhones, in applications. He was the one who coded a translation, like a Google Translate concept, before it even was a thing. So I sat with him and I was like, this is just literally in Mexico. I'm like, didn't you trademark all this stuff? He goes like, at the time, because of unfortunately, they had him doing a life bid in jail for a crime he didn't commit, which he eventually fought it and got out after 30 plus years. But he was so desperate of just making money to get the lawyers to get him off the life, and which they were trying to give him the needle. That's a different conversation, right? So he was so desperate that he would just talk to anybody. I got this idea coming up. If you help me come out, I just need the money. And then they will take his ideas and sell them. They will take his ideas and give them to companies. So I told him, stop talking. This is literally me and him. I'm like, stop talking. He's like, no, let me show you this new concept. I'm like, stop talking. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, there's 40 of us right now. You're making the same exact. I'm like, you no longer have to give your ideas to anybody. You're free. I'm like, so before you talk to me, you need to have me sign a non-disclosure agreement. You need to have me sign a non-circumvention. You need to have all these different items to protect yourself. He's like, yeah, but I want you and your team to work with me. I'm like, Marlo, I love you and I want to work with you. But I'm telling you, I'm doing you a favor here. You need to protect yourself and, yes, have the right team. So these great genius ideas, but it never morphed into anything because he didn't have the right team.
But that's what makes team though in that too, right? Because we see people, we've done that before. Hey, let's just sign an NDA. Well, why? Just to protect you. Just to protect you. I mean, we care about that. And I think that's important.
Yeah, big time. All right, here's another thing. We got, we kind of covered Mexico. We covered the marketplace and the tech side of things. I want to talk about the one last thing as far as the tech stuff in bots. You and I woke up to a mutual friend and a colleague that had, she has 38,000 followers in her Instagram account, and amazing human being. And her account got hacked overnight, and just porn stuff was all over the channel itself, right? Like, she texted me like, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to offend. If anything that you saw, it was my account was hacked. I'm like, first of all, you don't gotta worry about me. Second of all, I warned like the tech team that she's working with, like, hey, are you using bots to create growth hacking for visibility purposes? And I was told, nope, we're not using it, right? I'm like, yeah, because if you are, it's like you're opening this virtual door to everybody to get in to your back systems, right? Like, so you got to be very, very careful. And I wasn't sure at first, like, no, it's all organic. I'm like, oh, that's great engagement if it's all organic. But then you can tell, right? So for anybody who's using bots to create followers or to create views, let me help you out. First of all, if you know. Those of us who know you're using a bot can figure it out. Like, if you got like 10,000 views but 0 comments, like something is off, right? I'm just saying, if you have views and comments and then I click and every account is the same flower picture or, person with coffee or just random one picture on every, that's fake. That means you're using an algorithmic system that automatically is creating accounts and automatically going to do reviews, and you're just coding the whole thing. So be very careful. Why be very careful? Because number one, you will absolutely 100%, you're creating all those fake views, which your video is like 10,000 views, but the people who are real humans who could buy from you, they don't see it. You're shadow banned. No social media platform is going to allow you to get visibility unless you are using organic reach, which is very hard and very expensive, right? So that's very first. Second of all, things like this will happen where you are allowing the scammers and people who want to take advantage, like, oh, somebody's using bot. That means they have some cheap system that I can hack into and I can get in their social media account and overnight take it over. So I tell you all this stuff to tell you, stop buying bots and for fake accounts and fake visibility. You need to have an organic strategy. And here's what I do. I'm not looking for virality. I'm not looking for 1,000 to 2,000 people every single time I post to comment. I'm looking for the one. I'm looking for the right person. That right person, we can build a very successful company with. Yes, it's good to have visibility, but organic is always 10 times better. And eventually, as your resources grow, you can go ahead and do ads, or you can do funnels, or you can do systems. How you doing? Talk to Tanya Tenica. That will create an actual process and a strategy to convert, not just, oh my God, look at me, I got 500 views. Nobody cares about the views. How is that translated into business? What do you think about bots and fake followers, Tanya?
I agree with everything you said. I also think it's like just a straight money pit because they're vanity metrics. Mm-hmm. And we've understood that. You can see somebody with 30,000 followers and they're broke. You can see somebody with 5,000 followers and they're six figures. It's, so I think it just shows where you are mentally in business and where you're prioritizing, which is not healthy. I also think it's a money pit because when you really think about it, you're paying for those likes, but they go away. You'll go in and then all of a sudden you'll be at let's just say 15,000. And then all of a sudden you're at like 12,000 and you lost so many. You're like, wait, what just happened? Or something small, 500. And then you'll notice it goes back up to 250 and then it goes right back down. So you're losing just the same. And they do this to play around, like share, whatever, and they'll warn you. But so you're thinking you're getting something and it's just a waste. I mean, if you're going to
spend money, spend it on something that's going to work for long term.
Yeah. Spend it somewhere different. Spend it on pay to play where you're going on different podcasts or features or speaking gigs or news articles or, I don't know, book launches, whatever, ads, you can play around with. If you're going to throw away money, play around with an ad, and see where it goes. I mean,
which that will get you more impact because it targets real humans. It doesn't target just any random accounts. Yeah.
So I think again, that shows me your how do I want to put it? Your understanding of business
or lack thereof.
Yeah, or lack thereof.
You're doing it for the wrong reasons. You're not doing it to build a business. You're doing it because you want to make yourself feel better about yourself.
Exactly. Because when you're building, if you look at nobody, I don't ever do that. Like nobody that I know, like they just, maybe in the beginning they thought because they were thinking that's authority building, but there's other ways that are very viable when it comes to authority building, which is some of the stuff that we do, right?
Absolutely.
Way better than, I rather get it in ABC, NBC News, Fox, all that, and then share that as opposed, that's not going to go away.
Yep.
Right? So, yeah, nah.
100%, which, by the way, a huge shout out to Dr. Katrina Ferguson. She is all over the map with her campaign. She got picked up by Fox, ABC, CBS, CW, NBC. 200, I think it was almost 300 channels that picked up her story. Also, Social X, a health and wellness company, is formerly CTFO. We got pretty excited that we worked with them last week, and we got them. Also, I believe we had 216 channels that picked up the Social X story. So kudos to them. And those are the things that I get excited about, because if I Google your name or your company name, I'm going to see validated information, not just some fake hype.
At ME Studios, we don't just create campaigns, we build brands. Our mission is to transform your ideas into a compelling experience that resonates with your audience and elevates your brand identity. Hey there! Ever dreamt of launching your own branding campaign, but overwhelmed by all the moving parts? From concept to execution, the process can seem daunting. But don't worry, we've got you covered. Look no further. Welcome to ME Studios, your one-stop shop for all things branding. Imagine this, a place where creativity meets technology, and your branding dreams come to life. We start with pre-production. Our expert team dives into creative concept meetings, curates top-tier guests, and even puts together stunning headshots. We help you shape your vision and plan every detail meticulously. We even throw in AI-powered commercials to give you that extra edge. These commercials are designed to seamlessly integrate with your content, making your campaign not just informative, but also commercially viable. Next up, production. Picture yourself in a state-of-the-art studio with professional lighting, high-quality mics, and an inspiring atmosphere. Our studios are equipped with the latest technology to ensure your sessions are smooth and productive. We create power-packed segments split into 3 engaging parts, 15 minutes each, designed to captivate your audience. Our team ensures that each segment is filled with valuable content and keeps your audience hooked. Now, let's talk post-production. Our team meticulously edits your content, adding branded intros and outros, custom music, and flawless transitions. We take care of all the technical details so you can focus on delivering your message. We make sure your message shines brighter than ever. Our goal is to enhance your voice and make your campaign stand out in a crowded market. Finally, it's time to launch. We distribute your polished campaign across all major platforms, ensuring your campaign reaches the widest possible audience. But that's not all. We create viral reels, issue a national press release, and ensure your campaign gets the attention it deserves. Our marketing strategies are designed to maximize your reach and engagement. At ME Studios, we bring your vision to life. Our dedicated team works tirelessly to ensure your campaign is a true reflection of your brand and resonates with your audience. Your campaign, your brand, done right. We take pride in delivering high-quality, professional campaigns that make a lasting impact. Ready to make your mark? Visit themestudios.net and book your launch today. Our team is excited to help you start your branding journey. Thanks for watching, and let's get your voice out there. Together, we can create something truly special.
Okay, so with that being said, we're gonna do a little transition here, and I'm gonna talk to you about something that's been on my heart. I kind of talked to you about it, and I think it's worth sharing it with everybody, because it's easy to hate for no reason. It's easy to get angry. It's easy to hate, right? It's harder to love. And I think you know where I'm going with this. I had it on my mind even up to this morning, where 2 weeks ago had a little situation with a colleague that I warned that, hey, just so you know, the strategy that you're going about it, you being a pastor, is a bad look. Like, it's coming across as if you're using faith just to lure people into a Zoom, and then you do a bait and switch where it's all about the product and service that you're selling. And I was given the, I don't care what you think, I do what I do, you do what you do, which ticked me off even more, just because of the love and the respect that I have. It's one thing if I know you're a scum. It's another thing if I love and I respect you, and I'm like, but I see you here. Like, why are you coming down here? And I'm like, but look, remember, you're here. And you're like, oh, I don't care what you think. I'm gonna stay down here if I want to, and I don't care what anybody. And that just messed with me. And I think is because of the love that I have for the individual was being met with this don't fail me like everybody else has failed me before you. Don't disappoint me like everybody else has disappointed me. Like, you're my hero. Like, why are you doing this? And and I know it's not about the person. Like, I'm sharing this because it's a trigger, I guess, for me. It's like, man, like, you two are going to be another person that I seen as a quality, top-notch human. And at the end of the day, you are not necessarily, look, I said it for what it is. And I said, I'm like, you're coming across like a false prophet. And I don't care. At least I said it to your face, right? A couple of days or a week later, talking to a mutual business partner that we have. And I was like, man, look, I got these videos, blah, blah, blah. And the business partner's like, hey, well, why don't, these got to be good to push the initiatives in the campaign. I was like, I don't know if he's going to want to push those just because I might have rubbed him off the wrong way. Maybe I was too harsh. I was like, I'll tell you what, hold on a second. So I sent a really, what I think, a humbling, because again, as a man, you're like, I'm the man. I don't got to apologize to nobody. I said what I said. So I picked up the phone and I was like, hey, you've been in my heart. I love you. I respect you. And I'm sorry if I offended you, something within those lines. But I definitely apologize if I offended you in any way, shape, or form. Hope to see you soon. No answer. No problem. And then a message or a post, like, a petty post went on social, like taking a dig. I don't have to change myself for your insecurities or what something like, you can tell like it was a dig. And that just brought me to a whole different level. I'm like, now I'm going to have to call you out as a false prophet. You claim that, you're learning scripture every single hour of the day, but you're not applying any of it. And I'm sorry if I'm coming across harsh, because I know you, Tanya, being an apostle and a prophet, like, I don't know if I'm offending people by this conversation. I don't know if I'm calling out a real issue. But here's my only thing is, don't tell me about scripture, be it. Don't tell me about your faith, be it. But isn't that weird though?
I think, the word talks about don't touch thine anointed, right? And so,
don't
but
touch
when you're
that
doing it
anointed,
in a
meaning
way,
like, meaning that he is?
meaning we're not going to go talk about people who carry an anointing. We really shouldn't talk about anybody. Everybody is a reflection of God, right? Everybody is a creation of God. So we really shouldn't be, bad mouthing or bashing anyone, right? And even when it comes down to like where it talks about giving your tithe, it's like, hey, if you have aught with your brother, then you need to go back, correct it, and
No,
then
that I
come
get
to
it.
the altar.
Yeah. So
Right?
let's get
So
into
there's a
that
lot.
conversation.
Well, and there's a lot where we talk about, the Holy Spirit, like God is grieved by discord, by somebody who wants to cause discord and slander and all of that. And this is the thing. There's a difference between your situation. You have gone to this person multiple times. I mean, repeatedly letting them know, I can help you in this area. These are the issues, or this is something you've gone in private. You've even brought somebody. I remember a couple of conversations coming with you where it's like, this person is unteachable. When they're unteachable, it says in Matthew 10:15 or 14, if anyone will not receive you or listen to your words, shake off the dust from your feet when you leave that house or town. I look at that from the perspective of, if you know that your heart is pure and you're coming multiple times to say, hey, this doesn't seem accurate, or you're asking questions and how you do it, not in a way that is harmful or disrespectful, eventually you have to just let that person go and let them do what they do. And as long as you release yourself and forgive and forgive from that place, then you move on. You've already reached out, and their choice, that shows a lack of maturity, right? Their choice was to do what? Not reconcile or just say, thank you, I appreciate it, I think we can still go on our both ways. Their thing is to be defensive, go online, do something that was private, make it public.
Can I say
like there's a lot going
where
on
I'm
here.
yeah. So the part I guess where I need help, and maybe I should, release that for me, right? The idea that this is somebody that I genuinely see as up there in terms of the standards that at one point has been set from a spiritual approach to things, to see you're just like everybody else who lied and deceives. That eats me out. Like, if I don't know you, like, how many people me and you here see online, like, false prophet, like, next, like, look at you, but this is like, I know how great you at one point are and can be. And to see I don't care what you or anybody else think, I'm going to do what I do what I know for a fact, just to make another $5. That gets that. I'm struggling with that. And especially, I think for me, the trauma of every religion or religious figure that I had that was quote unquote a mentor that disappointed and put a needle on my neck eventually. I guess it bothered me some type of way. Maybe I just need to grow and move on, but yeah.
No, it's not. I don't think it's that. I think it's, okay, there are some areas where right now what we're saying is the word of God talks about even the elect fall short. So just because somebody is great in one area and has great revelation in an area doesn't mean that they've gotten everything together, because it's Holy Spirit given. So it doesn't negate that they're not anointed. It just means that they're human. And we actually have in Ecclesiastes, it talks about there's seasons. So we have seasons in relationships and seasons with people. And so it doesn't mean that they weren't great in what you needed in that place. Still hold them in high esteem and respect and honor, because we do as human beings honor those that not only just bring the word, but just in general. We honor everybody who is a human being. It's just, you just do, because they're God's creation. And what we don't want to do is become familiar, meaning see individuals behind the scenes and then become so familiar that now we negate everything in who they are. Like, me pretty well, right? And we're very open. So me behind the scenes and in front, and I'm pretty much the same, right? So, but you could easily, I've had my moments, you've had your moments. We'd be like, why is she discouraged? She should never be discouraged. Like, and you could look at it like, well, you hold this kind of title or function. You should never fall in discouragement. Like, exactly what you should be doing. You should have, we could judge really easily. So I just look at it as, you know what? This is an area that he needs to heal in. He does not want to heal in that area. He has not made it where he's receiving what you're saying. So you're not the one to bring healing. Maybe you're the one just to sow the seed, and somebody else will give, a little bit more of the water, and scripture talks about, right? The seed, one sows the seed, one gives, one waters, God gives the increase. So I think that you can healthily just say, you know what? Each and every person that's been in a leadership role has served their purpose and where they are and what they've done. And I'm grateful for what role they played in my life and the season that they were in. And I'm okay to detach and let go of that season, that person, and everything else without making what they did or said invalid. Because no matter what, God can use anyone to bring some type of revelation, something to you, right? So that just is a place that he needs to grow in. Now you got to have the capacity to love him where that is, but you also have to understand, like David with the Ziklag, he had to still go to God, even though the leaders that he was leading were like super mad at him. And they were like, everybody, like, our stuff got stolen, our wives got stolen, our children got stolen, everything. I'm so upset at you, blah, blah, blah. We could be in that place, right? But David went and prayed, and he even asked, is there any spoils to gain? Meaning, should he even go? Because if there's nothing to gain, then I'm just going to say it's a distraction. So then that's where I ask you, Is there anything to gain? Do you know that that is who you need to, that's your covenant partner? Like, you are in covenant, you have a lifelong friendship, relationship, whatever that looks like. Or just somebody that you just say, the business part is no longer. If the friendship gets restored, amen, but we're not crossing those lines. Because sometimes we do cross those lines. We meet them in business, become friends, and forget that maybe they're not meant to be for business and friendship. Maybe they're just a friend, or maybe they're just business. But I think it's healthy that you just let it go, because you're not responsible. You said what you said. This is not the first time. You were respectful. You've done this over and over and over with this person.
Since 2017,
and they
repeatedly.
Don't want correction.
Yeah,
yeah, they do not want correction.
Where I'm heading is, I have to treat it like, and this is where I'm all in everything that I am, especially when it comes to relationship. Like, you know, I even have it in my wife and I always say, you're either family or you are not. Like, period. Right. So and when you are on the category of you are not, then there's layers of where you fall in the relevance in my life, right? And it gets to a point when you get to treat irrelevant with irrelevance, man, I erase you from my memory. Like, you're not even existing. And I guess I feel like there is some growth that has happened over the years on my end, and still a lot more that I need to go, that I'm questioning, you know, and that's me from my past, right? What part did I play in creating this circumstance that this person has? Like, it's like I'm almost taking it as my fault / responsibility that this person is doing the things that he or she is doing.
Well, a part of it is. A part of it is a part of your responsibility, because you are just getting to the place of putting certain boundaries in place, and your confidence in God, and stepping into the prophetic mantle. And now you understand the seriousness of being the prophet, serving God, and all the things that you've done, and really releasing everything from your conversion from Muslim, right?
I need so much help in that, because that's a mouthful, and I always smile because, you know, my brain automatically goes, am I worthy with everything that you just said? And I know, you know, who is worthy anyways. I get that. I get it. But just to say all of that, it's like, yeah.
I know. And this is the thing. When we're in this place, we have to realize that a lot of times how people treat us is what we've allowed. You've allowed these boundaries to be crossed because you want to love unconditionally. But love doesn't look like stepping all over, right? If you look at agape love in 1 Corinthians 13, it's not sloppy, right? I mean, Jesus is telling his own disciple that's walking with him, get thee behind me, Satan. He's setting up a standard. Like, he's dusting his feet off. There's so many things that are happening here, right? So we have to look at the fact that we have to have healthy boundaries. This is what happens when we allow year after year after year. You spoke, you supported, you did exactly what the word talks about. If you have aught, reconcile. If they don't listen, bring a brethren. If they still don't listen, announce it before the church. If they still don't listen, dust your feet off, essentially, right? It's excommunicate them. Well, that's kind of how it looks, but it's like, take them out the flock kind of thing. But you've done everything that you've needed to do. The only thing you haven't done is fully release, because you don't ever want to give up on anybody. You don't want to, but that's not giving up. That we got to be careful not to take the role of God. It is not your responsibility to bring him to light and to help him understand the errors in some of his ways and how things are being perceived, or old systems, right? If they want to operate in an old wineskin or an old system, or within that mixture of new and old wineskin, that's their thing. Does that make sense? So the reason why it's kind of tough for you right now is because you have truly set boundaries, and you've seen the consequences for you and your family and business and everything for not setting those boundaries. You've allowed people to prostitute your gifting, the anointing, everything on you. You've allowed it for so long, doing things for free, all types of stuff. having consultations, giving things, and where has it gone? You've spoken and had multiple conversations on how to excel and scale consultations that you would charge 6 figures for.
Mm-hmm.
And that person still has not taken the fruit of that conversation and been able to grow. And then you got to look at their relationships around them. Look at all the relationships of the people that are understanding, healthy, all these other individuals. They've even backed up from him. They've even done certain things where they said, no, I don't think this is smart. They even keep this person at a distance.
Yeah, I was the last one out of the crew that never.
We have to be smart. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta, and I know you don't want to move on because of the fact that you love but you can love from that distance, and eventually it just becomes distraction. Because now every time you bring a person in, it's, why do we have to bring this person? I don't want them doing this. This is what and they don't want to yield and respect what's happening. So with that being said, you're now starting to look bad as your name, your credibility, because of their actions. You can't have that.
Word. All right. Well, I'm in the release phase. See, she helps me out a lot. I'm pick on her a lot, but she always helps me out. You guys get to see the real deal. Okay, let's talk about one last piece. You and I talk about protecting our energy, making sure that we don't have any negative thoughts, like even this morning, like, nope, assume everything is good, assume everything is great. I learned it from the great Bob Proctor, and then I released all of that teaching 2 years ago. I was like, no, I'm not even going to go there, because it's a gray area, right? Like, you're opening up to certain realms when you talk about energy and frequency. And, you get people that are like, I'm an energy worker. I'm like, and that's the last thing me and you're going to talk about. Have a good life, because we don't know what we don't know. We think it's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm glad that it's like, it's pretty cool to hear certain things, how you can manifest stuff. But again, you just said something powerful earlier, like, it's not your job to play God. So I understand that
and
thoughts
manipulate things. I get it.
Yeah. So it's just a gray area we got to be careful with. But thoughts become feelings, right? Like, whatever I'm thinking about this circumstance gives me a specific feeling, and then that feeling turns into action, right? Where, like, man, I don't even want to do anything right now. I just want to be left alone. That's an action that is not good for me. It's not good for my productivity, but that's because of the feeling that was generated from a thought, and then the action creates results or lack thereof. So we always talk about, be very careful about, clear your mind. Even while I'm in Mexico, I get a random message from you that just says, be still, we're good, randomly. And I'll be like, I know you exactly, like, I appreciate it,
You're like, what? So, yeah. You went out for a second. You said, be still. And then you said,
no, you just specifically, like, hey, just be still, and it's like, exactly where I was at in that very same moment. So I appreciate it. And yeah, mind your thoughts, be very, very careful with what you allow into, it's like those automatic negative thoughts, or as they're called, ants. They just sneak up on you in there, and you need a Tanya in your life, and a Maritza in your life, and somebody who can pick you right back up and be like, hey, you're good. We got this. Yeah, God is good. All right, give us some final remarks, Tanya. Send us off on a positive note, because I feel like I took a lot from you.
You took a lot of, all I see is this.
Yes, I took a lot. So give us some positive thoughts, and send us off, and give us some call to actions. What are we doing this week?
You said give some call to actions.
Yeah.
Anything. Man, this internet is... Okay, because the studio's supposed to be good internet, y'all. This is what we're supposed to be doing.
That's because we're talking about
positive in the sense, yeah. I do agree. I'm actually going to be doing some in-depth studies when we're talking about energy and frequency and so on and so forth, because we can't negate science. And we also can't negate, some things that we've learned within that, as well as the biblical aspect of some of those things. And so we have to realize that the enemy is, like, people are going to use an enemy, all those aspects are going to use the things of God, right, for not good, right? So if we're going to say, like, for instance, speak things that are not as though they were, it's scripture. But we could take that way left field and start looking at hypnosis and manipulate manipulating people, right? We could say we're supposed to be praying, but then we can go left field and take prayers and make them curses and speak things over people. We can say, you know, life and death come from the tongue. And then now all of a sudden we're speaking yes things into existence. We're calling it yes manifestation, but it's not a healthy thing. We don't realize how powerful we are. And I think that the enemy has taken a lot of that and twisted it with witchcraft and the demonic and things. But that means that we've essentially thrown the baby out with the bathwater. Things that could be healthy and used as science and our human body so we could learn, and it really supports what the word is talking about, we're throwing away. But those are trigger words, right? Manifesting, frequency, all of that stuff. And it is a very gray area. It can be if we go really left with it. So thank you for bringing that up. But yes, looking at your thoughts, speaking life and making sure that you are, I've learned in my life to stop complaining. And I was never a big, heavy complainer per se, but I would speak the things like, well, of course this would happen. This always happens. And I would start expecting some things to happen because this is what happens, as opposed to, you know, changing that. So I would say that. As far as calls to actions, I know we have so much deeper to go in a lot of the areas that we spoke about, but you know, our heart is pure when it comes to the innovation and, you know, the forward thinking in the industry. And so we have iam.media. I think you can put that up there. So it's iam.media, and it's just a simple, small subscription based where we're doing private podcasts. We're having some of these more in-depth talks, giving you assets, resources, and tools, and helping you understand some of the innovation and the tools that you can use to really launch, scale, build, advance, and all of that good stuff. So if that was the one call to action, I would definitely say that. If I had two calls to action, I would say go into IAM so you can get some pure teaching and strategy, because we don't gatekeep. And then the other thing is definitely look at ME Studios, the mestudios.net. Why? Because we're looking at helping you get branded, helping you get seen, helping you gain that authority, some things that are more viable and sustainable than buying bots or some of the other things that are definitely taught out there. We've been in the industry long enough, and I think that we've laid really low, Ali, in a lot of areas. We've helped, we're some of the reasons why some of these companies from 6 to 8 figures are viable, and they're building and they've been successful, or like what you've done, bring them pre-IPO and just a bunch of other things. And so I'm kind of glad that we're in a different place, that God really shifted us and said, it's now our responsibility to go out. And I really think that you and I are going to start dismantling infrastructures and the norm of what is normally said to work or be and how things are. One of them was the MLM we were talking about, and some other areas where we're like, yeah, that's just old. It's just not going to work anymore. So yeah.
The game has changed. Yeah, well, I'm just
good topic today. I had no idea what we were going to talk about, but you just pushed play.
The interesting thing to me, everything was great until I started talking about the spiritual side of the conversation, and then everything went whoop, 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 whoop. But you know, we made it. I'm very, very grateful and excited for you. Make sure you visit us at the mestudios.net and definitely check out im.media. My name is Ali Mehdaoui. She goes by the name of TT, aka Tanya Tenica. Huge kudos to everybody behind the scene. Dr. Katrina Ferguson, who is in Dubai right now at an event, and then of course our beloved COO Claudia Maritza Mehdaoui. We love you and appreciate you. Until next time, tell them peace out.
At ME Studios, we don't just create campaigns, we build brands. Our mission is to transform your ideas into a compelling experience that resonates with your audience and elevates your brand identity. Hey there! Ever dreamt of launching your own branding campaign, but overwhelmed by all the moving parts? From concept to execution, the process can seem daunting. But don't worry, we've got you covered. Look no further. Welcome to ME Studios, your one-stop shop for all things branding. Imagine this, a place where creativity meets technology, and your branding dreams come to life. We start with pre-production. Our expert team dives into creative concept meetings, curates top-tier guests, and even puts together stunning headshots. We help you shape your vision and plan every detail meticulously. We even throw in AI-powered commercials to give you that extra edge. These commercials are designed to seamlessly integrate with your content, making your campaign not just informative, but also commercially viable. Next up, production. Picture yourself in a state-of-the-art studio with professional lighting, high-quality mics, and an inspiring atmosphere. Our studios are equipped with the latest technology to ensure your sessions are smooth and productive. We create power-packed segments split into 3 engaging parts, 15 minutes each, designed to captivate your audience. Our team ensures that each segment is filled with valuable content and keeps your audience hooked. Now, let's talk post-production. Our team meticulously edits your content, adding branded intros and outros, custom music, and flawless transitions. We take care of all the technical details so you can focus on delivering your message. We make sure your message shines brighter than ever. Our goal is to enhance your voice and make your campaign stand out in a crowded market. Finally, it's time to launch. We distribute your polished campaign across all major platforms, ensuring your campaign reaches the widest possible audience. But that's not all. We create viral reels, issue a national press release, and ensure your campaign gets the attention it deserves. Our marketing strategies are designed to maximize your reach and engagement. At ME Studios, we bring your vision to life. Our dedicated team works tirelessly to ensure your campaign is a true reflection of your brand and resonates with your audience. Your campaign, your brand, done right. We take pride in delivering high-quality, professional campaigns that make a lasting impact. Ready to make your mark? Visit themestudios.net and book your launch today. Our team is excited to help you start your branding journey. Thanks for watching, and let's get your voice out there. Together, we can create something truly special. Lee.